Let's get visible, visible. I wanna get visible. Let's get indivisible. Let me hear your branding talk. Let me hear your branding talk. Hey, it's RKA. There she is. There she is. And it's another episode of Awkward Marketing. It's an Olivia Newton-John day, guys. I was doing some research before today's ep, and I was watching the music video of Let's Get Physical by Olivia Newton-John. It is both hilarious and problematic, and I'm not going to tell you why for either of those things. I just recommend after this episode, go check it out. Laugh, scratch your head, write a letter. I mean, it's a couple of decades late, but it doesn't matter. Gosh. And I'm so happy to be here today, right in front of you, visibly in front of you, for another episode of Awkward Marketing. Hey, Megan, see you here. Let's get visible. Why don't we? Let's do it. So, today's topic is all buzzwordy. It's all the rage, visibility. It's the thing. Everybody's talking, you gotta be visible, but you gotta be visible in your business. What does that mean, though? Does it mean that I have to document my entire life with selfies? Does it mean that I have to show you what I'm eating every day for lunch? No, it doesn't. My menu, my business. Am I right? Now, I'm not selfie shaming here, because who doesn't like a good click? You know, who doesn't? On a good day with a good filter and some good lighting, hey, we're all down for a selfie. But being visible in your brand and in your business doesn't mean constantly taking pictures of yourself or constantly narrating and documenting your life. It can be one way you do it, but it's not the only way. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Visibility, what is it? Why is it important? And how to do it effectively without losing your mind. How to boost that biz. I like to call it bizability, if you will. Get it? Because it's business and it's visibility all in one. No? All right, that's just fine. So here we go. Bizability. I'm not going to let you bring me down. Bizability. What's it all about? So the first thing is, what is visibility? And if there's lots of different, definitions of this. One really clear and beautiful definition of business visibility that I love is coined by the leader Paul Zelizer. And he likes to talk about your marketing, your visibility, being a steady, loving presence in the marketplace. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that a wonderful way to think about it? Suddenly, what can often be very overwhelming about marketing and self-promotion now is transformed into an act of love. Being a steady, loving presence in the marketplace. In other words, it's showing up where your people are and being there with them in a loving way, offering your services, offering your products, offering your special sauce, how you make the universe better, offering that with love and with consistent and a persistent presence. That's it. Isn't that simple? Doesn't that take the edge off? Right? So I love to think about visibility in that way, a steady, loving presence in the marketplace. So now that we got that down, the definition, how do you do it though? Like, where do you go? Where do I need to be visible? Do I need a Pinterest and an Instagram and a Twitter and a Facebook and a blog and a newsletter and a webinar? Do I need all that? I don't have enough hours in the day. No, it's okay. Calm down. Take a deep breath. This is for me more than for you. Oh, yeah. Let's just take a deep breath in and exhale the holy shit. Oh, yeah. Okay. Does that feel better? Visibility doesn't mean being everywhere at once. Doesn't mean having every account and every platform. Doesn't mean doing it all. There are so many amazing ways to promote yourself, to promote your biz. It doesn't necessarily mean being everywhere all at once in all of the places. All right. So that's another thing that should take the edge off, right? So how do you why, before I say how, before I get to the how, let me get to that why. Why though? Why? Why do we want to be visible? Why do I want to be a steady, loving presence in the marketplace? I mean, especially if I have other people, I have like people to love. You know what I'm saying? I got a husband, I got my dogs. I mean, some of you might have some kids. I got other things to love than the marketplace, you know? Here's the thing. Let's talk about the buyer's journey. For a buyer, for a customer, for a client, what we know is for a person to make a buying decision, they need more than one interaction with you. It takes more than landing on your website and then clicking the buy now button, right? Or clicking the contact me and let's start this thing. In fact, what we know about buying decisions is most people need at least 6 to 8 interactions with you and your brand before they feel comfortable giving you their money. Okay? So it's not going to be enough that they go to your website. It's not going to be enough that they click like on a Facebook post. It's not going to be enough for you to give them your freebie and get them on your email list and then call it a day, right? You need to consistently be building trust and building a relationship with your prospective client so that you can nurture them towards a sale. So that's why we got to be visible, folks, because that's what it takes to sell stuff. If only it took just a visit to a gorgeously crafted, strategically built website, right? If that's all it took, I would be a millionaire and I wouldn't be making this video right now. I'd have my feet up, drinking a marg on a yacht. Unfortunately, there's a little bit more to it. So that's the why. The why is that we know that people I just picked up this pen so I could be like, this pen has something to say about this. This pen wants you to know. I don't know why I picked up this pen. But, we know how people make buying decisions. And it's because they trust you, they know you, they like you, and they have a relationship with you. So, all right. That's the what, that's the why. What about the how, though? How do you get visible without losing your damn mind? Okay. It all comes down to, and I know you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Because I'm not going to be like, just blog more. Just blog. No. What I'm going to ask you to do first, before you figure out where you need to be visible and how you're going to do that, is I need you to study your best client ever. I need you to study the client that you love to work with, the client that give you the best, juiciest, most amazing experience as the service provider or as the provider of goods, and you're going to study them. And the first thing you're going to study is how did they first hear about you? How did they first find you? And a great way to figure this out is by always including that question on your intake form, including that question in, your email newsletter, segmenting, including that question somewhere early on in the buying process so that later you can go back and review, take a little handful of your best clients ever and look, okay, how the heck did they find me? So I got that question on my intake form. How did you find me? And it's been really illuminating to see, the breakdown. A lot of people, it's referrals. A lot of people, it's social media. A lot of people, it's a specific blog post. Very rarely does someone not answer that question, and it gives me a ton of information about where I need to be spending time because that's where people are finding me to begin with. So you want to study your best client ever and figure out where the heck did they first find out about you? Where was that first impact? That's number one. Number two is, what is number two? I don't know. I wish I had a puppet that I had talked to on Awkward Mark. What's number two, Mr. Magoo? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe next year, maybe in 2018, I'll have a little sidekick. All right, number two is, we've talked about where your clients first found you. Yeah, the pen wanted to be visible, Megan. I know that's a late comment, but I'm just going to bring it back. The pen is my sidekick. Hey, pen, tell me the truth. Tell me the news. Okay. So, number one, you want to find out where your clients first found you, first heard about you, first encountered your brand. The second thing is, what was the linchpin? What clinched their decision? And this is actually a question that you're not going to be putting in your early intake forms or early on in the sales process. You're going to put this question at the end of the process, after you've worked with a client, after they've given you amazing testimonial, after you've you've wrapped up and they're totally thrilled with your services. One great question for your follow-up feedback survey is to ask them, I'm really curious. what was the reason, what was the ultimate decision factor? Some people might say something like, you know what, I read your weekly newsletter and after a while I realized this is the person for me. Someone might say, I talked to some friends and I talked to your former clients and I talked to people who had worked with you and they really sold me. Some people might say, I saw your episode of Awkward Marketing and I couldn't help myself. That's probably it. It's probably, probably, right? So so you want to ask this question at the end of the sales experience. What was it that clinched the sale? And I got to give some props to my girl, Britt Colo of Jam Marketing, because this question comes from her. She has this whole amazing way of figuring out your marketing strategy called your marketing web. You can find it on her website. I believe it's jammarketinggroup.com. Somebody drop it in the comments for me. I know you guys follow Britt. Love her. Love the Brit. So I nabbed that little trick of figuring out what it was that clinched the decision. I nabbed that one from Brit. So that's the second thing you need to figure out. What was the factor that really pushed the client towards a sale? You're going to use your best client ever as your kind of research for this. There you go. Thank you for the link, Megan. Love you much. Okay. She is, now, you know what, Megan, you should just come aboard and be my sidekick next year, Then I won't have to have a puppet. I can have a real, live Megan. JK, Megan's the goal designer. Check her out on Instagram. And she's launching a planner in like 8 days. And so she's too busy to be my sidekick, but that's cool. That's fine. We're all the star of our own show. All right. Finally, so you figured out what was the thing that, how did your clients first find out about you? How did your clients finally make the decision to work with you? And then, now in my newsletter today, when I was letting people know about this, I did tell them that the goal of today's video was to teach you how to be more visible without being a creepy stalker. Unfortunately, I'm going to betray myself here. I'm going to betray myself and you, and I'm going to say you're going to need to do some stalking, some low-key, legal stalking of your best client ever. So I want you to take, and let me stop for a second. When I'm talking about a best client ever, I'm not talking about a theoretical avatar. I'm not talking about an ideal client kind of, imaginary being that you've come up with for the purposes of, of hypothesizing about your business. I want you to take an actual person that you've worked with, if you could choose one, the very best client you ever had, that's the person that you want to take here. This is not about creating a fictional character. This is about taking an actual person you've worked with and doing research on them. So you know how they found you, you know what clinched their decision. Now you're going to do a little bit of research about where did they spend time online. So you're gonna look, you're gonna do a little Googling, Google a little bit around their name, maybe their brand name, depending on who you're working with, and you're gonna see, where do they show up online? Check them out on Facebook, see if they're on Instagram, look up their Twitter, check out for, their Pinterest. So those are the basics, but then you are gonna Google as well. You're gonna see, maybe they spend a lot of time on forums. Maybe they're really active on Reddit and then they use their real name. Maybe they, answer a lot of questions on Quora. Maybe they, so you're going to do some digging to see where this best client ever spends their time online, right? And you're going to want to choose ultimately kind of where is the central place that they're spending on time online. Facebook is a really easy way, it's an easy place to start because a lot of people, it's pretty easy to kind of dig around and see what's a person doing on Facebook. Oh, I left out LinkedIn. Hello, LinkedIn's a big one too. Check them out on LinkedIn. Are they spending time there? Are they publishing articles there? Are they interacting with people there? Do they have a lot of connections? All of that good stuff. And you want to kind of choose where is their most active place. And now, after doing this research, figuring out where do they find out about you, what clinched their decision, and ultimately where they spend their time online, you've got 3 places, 3 starting points for where you need to continue to be visible and to grow your visibility. So they might have found out about you through search engine, right? Maybe they Googled something. As I've shared many times, a lot of people find me when they Google the term Marie Forleo's website. It's not because I designed it, because I certainly did not, but it's because I wrote an article about it last year. You don't want Marie Forleo's website. And as a result, a lot of people find me through that article. They find that post. They have a come to Jesus moment where they realize, Oh, I actually don't need, I don't want a website just like Marie's. Oh my gosh, maybe I should call it this RKA Girl. So that's a place where a lot of people first find me. So that's number one. That's the first place that you're going to be working on your visibility, okay? So in my case, it would be like, damn, I better be blogging more. I better be blogging, So that's number one. Number two, what clinched the decision? So in my case, a lot of the times, what clinches a person's decision to work with me is going to be a really solid referral, a solid testimonial referral from someone in a network, oftentimes a mutual friend, a mutual contact, a mutual colleague. This might be on LinkedIn, this might be in a Facebook group, something like that. So in my case, knowing that what clinches the decision is going to be a high quality referral, I just had to do a little hair flip for you. Then I'm going to continue being visible in Facebook groups, for example. I make a lot of connection through Facebook groups. I build relationships in Facebook groups. I know that because relationships with people and actual real-life testimonials helps clinch a decision for a person to work with me. I want to continue to be visible and engaging in Facebook groups, right? And third would be, okay, where do these people spend time online? So I might look up my best client ever and say, wow, they do really spend a ton of time on Instagram. Well, I better be over on Instagram, making posts, hanging out, providing value, just being there. Just being that steady, loving presence in the marketplace. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Yeah, I'm so glad that you say LinkedIn, Shannon, because that's a big one. That's really all it comes down to. Notice, what I have not said here is you got to get on video. I have not said you got to post a ton of pictures of yourself. I have not said you have to narrate every damn moment of your day. I haven't said any of that. Being visible doesn't actually even necessarily mean being visible, Now, it is one way that you can be, that you can show up. And for example, if you notice that a lot of your ideal client, your best client ever, spends a ton of time on Facebook and interacts with video content, maybe being visible on video is going to be the smart strategic move for you, but not necessarily. Being visible does not mean having to get on video. Being visible does not mean having to take a selfie. It just means being a steady, loving presence in the marketplace. Now, you do want some visual element of your brand to be visible, right? So, you can see that I'm like doing double time here. RKA, that's me. I'm RKA, but also I can never get it. There it is. There's my logo. My logo's there, just in the background. My colors, just there. Just a little hello from my branding right there in my videos. So, and I want that to be on anything that I'm sharing online. I want my visual branding to show up there. So if I'm not showing up, my face, my beautiful mug, if it's not going to be this thing, then I at least want to make sure that I've got my branding, my colors, my logo, and that's consistent so that people can easily recognize me when I do show up and I am visible, whether it's in written content, whether it's in whatever it might be. So that's really all it comes down to. You can be visible in so many ways, folks. You can be visible through writing content on your blog. You can be visible through videos, through podcasts, through your email newsletter. You can be visible by writing articles for authority sources and guest blogging. You can be visible by setting up ads and being the first search result because you put some ad money on it. So many ways to be visible. It doesn't always have to do with your beautiful face. And Heather says, groups. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. Facebook groups, another amazing way to be visible. Because part of being a steady, loving presence in the marketplace is actually nurturing relationships with your prospective clients, being accessible to them, building trust in an authentic way. And Facebook groups, and oh my gosh, Heather is the queen of this. She's always showing up and being so helpful. She had an episode on marketing and yoga pants a couple of weeks ago. Speaking of visibility, a couple of weeks ago or in July, all about just showing up and being helpful. That's such a valuable way to be visible in your business. So it's really about figuring out those three places, guys. Where are people first finding out about you? What is clinching their decision? And ultimately, where are they spending their most time online? Go there, be there, steady, loving presence. Let's get visible. And that's why they call it awkward marketing, folks. All right, it's been a blast. So glad to see you here. I will see you next week.